Welcome to the MadLabMMA. This is MadLab TV, and we're bringing you MadLab's main event. What's up, dude?
You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Anthony Basciglio. I'm here with the MadLab. Michael Iarato finally arrived in California, here with us in the new studio. So happy to be here. I'm happy Mike's here. Welcome to California, bro. What do you think so far? It's been 2 weeks, 2 long weeks.
2 very long weeks. Needed it though, right? We have a 4-week break. This is when we had to do it.
There wasn't a better time to make the move.
There's a lot of reasons though. You don't know if there was going to be a lockdown, if I could get out here, if I wasn't. You know, it's just so many things. But it's been crazy, dude. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been living like a gypsy for I was living in staying in a hotel until I found the place. I had to find the place. I had to find a truck.
You had to stay in my house. I was in Hawaii for a week.
In Hawaii. I had to stay at his house, and it's been crazy. I literally living out of luggage up until about 4 days ago when I finally found my spot. Beautiful, beautiful spot I found. And having gotten a haircut up until today, I know you can't tell because I still have my beard, but I haven't found a barber really that I trust with a straight razor yet, like I do back home. But it's
I give you credit that you handled it better than I thought you would. The stress, the move, finding a place, finding a car. You did good. You're here now. You're finally settling in now. We've been working out for the past week, getting ready to go. We're here. Before we go into the main event, tell me maybe one positive, one negative so far between California and New Jersey.
Well, positive's easy. Positive is I just think that the weather, it's cleaner. I think everybody's a lot more
clean.
It's very clean.
But it's just the streets.
That's what I mean. The streets.
Even the garbage. Do you see cardboard on the fucking sidewalk?
What about
because you're not allowed to?
Even telephone poles, dude. Like my guys, telephone poles are fucking crooked, wires hanging down, shoelaces and fucking shit hanging from the fucking.
You don't see none of that.
None of that.
You know what too? The streets. But you know why? Because it doesn't get cold and there's no ice and snow and then the salt.
And the salt, yeah.
The streets, there's no cracks. You're not gonna hit a fucking pothole to fucking rattle your whole car.
You're just motivated. I'm not a morning person. I get up early. I'm up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning every morning now, like just motivated to go. Put a 10, 12-hour day in here. Obviously, because this is a new baby and we're trying to get this off, but it's just a different life. Negative, I gotta be honest, bro. The negative is the food, bro. So far, yeah, I'm used to waking up at any point in time and being able to go this way or that way and getting, mortadella, big sandwiches with fucking hot semolina bread.
Hold on. Listen, you just fucking got here.
You ain't got it, dude.
All right, there's a spot right down the road called Claro's. You'll walk in, you feel like you're in Vita Me on Harrison.
Spot.
But
Singular.
I'm still learning. I don't know. They're out here.
If you're learning and you've been here in a year and a half, then they got to, because you're an Italian.
The difference is that, I'm
sniff these things out.
Yeah, but I am also finely tuned athletic machine who doesn't eat that kind of stuff anymore.
You eat nitrates.
I don't eat mortadella anymore, sorpresa, big fucking semolina sandwiches. But I will tell you that you're not gonna find the regular slice of pizza. You're not gonna find the Lodi pizza, the Nino's. You're not gonna find that. Brick oven pizza, a lot of good brick oven spots, but you're not gonna find that. But you can find good Italian food. I found a bagel spot finally after a year and a half.
Noah's?
No, not fucking.
I went there, dude. They're like perfectly round.
Forget about Noah's. I found a place. Cut it. I found a place, East Coast Bagels, Costa Mesa. They import the water.
Yeah, we got to drive to Costa Mesa.
So I told my wife, I said, they import the water. She
goes,
they import the water? I'm like, yeah. She's like, how? I was like, they fucking built pipes all the way from New Jersey into this fucking bagel store. No, she didn't believe me. I told her they piped it right into the bagel store from New Jersey.
So what do you do? You go there, buy a couple dozen and freeze them? I mean, what do you do?
No, I had a girl that works for me. She told me about it. I said, I don't believe you. Here's my credit card. Go bring bagels in for the whole office tomorrow.
And they were good. They were like fucking like Lodi bagel and
like Garfield bagel?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that they were like, if Garfield Bagel's a 10.
It's not even comparable.
No, if Garfield Bagel's a 10, the East Coast Bagel is an 8.
And the portions, I got to say, like they give you these minuscule portions where we're used to eating robust.
I think you got to.
What about the pasta?
I found some good spots.
All right, we'll just discuss.
There's places. There's places. Just take it easy. You and your fucking judgments.
I've been drinking nectar juice, watching this guy fucking eat meatless cardboard.
I'm going vegan, baby. All right?
All right.
Listen, we're here. Fight Island. Great main event to start it off. Holloway Kattar. Let's get into it, right into the breakdown. What do you think?
Well, before we start, we got to talk about a little bit about the swag.
Okay, great. Thank you. Listen, you know what? Good point, Lab. Subscribe right now Hit the subscribe button. We're going to be doing a shitload of content. We're going to be doing a main event breakdown for every single main event like this. If there's a bet, we're going to put the bet in. Check out our site, the MadLabMMA.com. We just launched our merch store, right? Fucking awesome shirts, hoodies, tank tops, t-shirts, premium standard, really cool designs. We already sold a whole bunch of them, and we're doing merch giveaways every week now.
Every week for our guys.
For our members.
During the 4-week break, we were actually doing it for the NFL. We were throwing guys out just to keep people active and stuff like that. But I design everything, so it's not like we have a team. I design all the merchandise.
The merch is sick. The merch is
really good, and we're going to be doing things. And everybody who's a member with us, if like we've had about 10 tournament takedowns since our opening. If you take down a tournament, you get a nickname. You know, so we're going to start doing merch for certain people in certain contests where your nickname will be on the shirt. Every event, if something fucking crazy happens, something funny happens with a ref or a judge, I'll design a quick shirt and throw it up that you guys can buy. So the merch is just going to keep going and going and going. So definitely, get on the website, subscribe, check out our merchandise, but also go to our go to my Twitter at MadLabMMA, and also the Instagram at MadLabMMA. And follow us, all across the platforms. I think we're on TikTok too now, right? But
we're on TikTok now too.
Into that,
just dabbling into TikTok. So give us some comments, give us some thumbs up. We appreciate the support. And if you go to the MadLabMMA.com, put in your email address, you'll be in our newsletter where you're gonna get free tips, advice, DraftKings advice, betting advice, and just know what we're doing at all times.
If you guys are looking for a good boy show too, you're not gonna get that here. Even though we're in California, we're two guys from New Jersey. What good boy show? We're from the East Coast. We're gonna curse. So if there are kids around and you do have kids, you might want to either put your headphones in and silence things, because this fucking cue ball head.
How you like my Bill Burr haircut?
He came flying through on this fucking spaceship of a microphone that I can't fucking stand with that fucking head.
It's like fucking sandpaper, dude. I went number 0.
Well, just shave it, bro.
What, bick it?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I don't even like this. I'm going to go 1 from now on. I don't like it.
Just grow it in and grow like a fucking...
I look sick. I look sick.
You look like fucking Gomer Pyle.
I look like a sick Bill Burr. I look like Bill Burr, but sick.
Bill Burr.
Someone called me Bill Burr the other day, by the way, at a drive-thru. I remember, you look like Bill Burr.
You actually do, though.
I know. It's bad. Right? That's why I got to grow it back in.
You got to be funny now.
I love Bill Burr, though.
No, he's one of the best.
I'm fucking funnier than Bill Burr. All right, so listen. Let's go into the breakdown. What do you think? Holloway Kattar, great fucking fight.
Great fight. The thing I do with a lot of these fights, I did it with the Whitaker fight. I mean, a lot of people were on Cannonier, right? So... you got to look at the narratives, and you got to tune everything out. You can't look at the odds. You can't look at anything, because what you're doing at that point is you're taking away from your judgment, right? So if you really trust your judgment and you know the fight game and you've either grappled before or boxed before, me and Anthony, we've known each other for 30 years and we met in the boxing realm. So that's where our first love is. That's where we really started to dial in, and then obviously I went the other way. But you got to trust your knowledge. You got to trust your own process. So I don't look at anything. I don't look at the lines. I don't look at anything until it's done. But what I do, you hear chirping. I'm on Twitter all the time. You hear people chirping that Max Holloway is a little punchy, and punchy.
He's washed up.
There's a difference between being punchy and people saying you're punchy. Meldrick Taylor is punchy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So there's guys out there that there's a totally different definition. He's always been that way. He's always talked a little quirky. He's always had that quirky way about him. So do I think that he's looking at different pastures soon? Yes, he is. I mean, he's already talked about wanting to be an announcer, which I think is fucking ludicrous.
Announcer?
Yeah, he's already talking about that. I think it's nuts. But, you could see he does not want to take the punishment anymore. I mean, he's looking past that, which is a good thing. I mean, you never want to overstep your welcome. But when you look at the fight and you look at the narrative in this fight, that he's, he could be washed up. He lost 3 fights recently. He lost 2 to Volkanovski. One of them that I believe, and I don't know if you do, but I think he won that last fight.
Very, very close. I thought he won. I wasn't shocked that the judges went the other way, but I did think that he won that fight.
But even if he legitimately...
and he looked good.
But even if he legitimately lost those 2 fights, would you say that losing to Volkanovski, there's no shame in that?
No, Volkanovski's fucking awesome.
Then he lost to Dustin Poirier. Okay, and he lost to Dustin Poirier at lightweight, which if you watch that fight, you'll see that Poirier was just stronger than him. Anything that he threw at him was hitting with intent, and it was just causing more damage.
Poirier's fucking awesome too.
But that's another thing. Even if it was at
you're talking about elite competition.
That's what I'm saying. But the bump up
and going up in weight.
That's what I'm saying. So not that you should nix that, but you got to take that into consideration. Then when you bring in the age factor, they're saying, well, he's been fighting for so long. Guys, you got to remember, he's 29 years old. He's not even 30 years old yet. Calvin Kattar's 31 years old, 32 years old, so he's actually older. Then they bring, well, he's been fighting for so long. He's been fighting since 2010. Kattar's been fighting since 2007. They pretty much have the same amount of fights. I mean, I think Max Holloway has a couple more, and the competition is up here compared to what Kattar fought. But when you're talking about age, you're talking about fighters' age and damage and stuff like that, there's not much of a major difference, except for someone like Max Holloway has seen the championship rounds. He's been through the battles with the elite. But this is a guy who had featherweight. He won the featherweight title against Pettis. He defended it twice against Aldo. He beat Ortega. He beat Edgar. This is a guy who beat the best.
He literally fought some of the best fighters to ever fight in the UFC.
And he does not stop. This is a guy who goes from point A of the first round to the final bell at the same pace and gets better as the fight goes on. So when you look at that and you look at, let's talk about a better perspective for a minute, at a minus 150, you look at that and you say, okay, well, I got something to work with here, because this is a guy now who is logistically proven to be a great champion. At one time, before his couple losses that he had, they were labeling him as possibly, one of the best to ever do it. And now it's amazing how people have such short-term memory. You look at a guy like Calvin Kattar. I got to be honest with you, when he first came into the UFC, I was not super high on him. I actually think I picked against him in his debut fight. I'm not even gonna lie. Because being from a boxing background and having a boxing pedigree, you need more. You need more. If you came in with a wrestling pedigree, you can get by with that. But when you just have a boxing pedigree, you need more, especially when you start climbing the rungs. Boxers tend to lead very, very heavy on that lead leg. It's hard to break that habit. It's very hard to check kicks and stuff like that. And Kattar was a very slick boxer. He understands how to change angles. He understands how to bait traps. He knows the game. He knows the combination. He knows how to tie things together. He knows what he's doing. He jumps a step in front of you before you realize what he's doing, and he's great at that. But you're talking about a guy who he's been in the fifth round one time, his last fight against Dan Ige. That's one thing you got to look at. He's never fought this level of competition.
He fought Stevens and Ige. I forgot who he fought his first two fights.
Zabit.
Zabit.
Okay. So, and Zabit's another guy. Zabit, I was super, super high on Zabit. He showed some kink in his armor in his last couple fights.
Flaws.
Yeah, a couple flaws. So he's fought some very good guys.
He hasn't fought one guy. Holloway's probably fought 7 guys.
He's fought everybody who can fight. And he's never backed down from a fight. So when you look at that and you look at just the odds right there, you got a guy who in 5 rounds, he's gone 5 rounds the last 4 fights. This guy lives in the 5th round, Holloway. And then you got a guy in Kattar who just introduced himself to the 5th round, his last fight. If you look at Max Holloway's punch volume, I mean, it just speaks for itself. I mean, this is an order from his last fight to 102, 134, 129, 181, 290. 174, 104, 94, 103. That's all
significant strikes.
That's all significant, and that's significant strikes. That's significant strikes. And mind you, 4 of those fights were 5 rounds. The rest of them were 3. So think about the volume he was spitting out. Okay, so then you look at a guy like Kattar. He's only hit the 100 significant strike mark 1 time against Dan Ige. That was his 5-round fight. So you're talking about a guy that consistently is going to give you that volume. Consistently is going to give you
Doesn't run out of gas.
Doesn't run out of the gas, and he's got the bag of tricks. He knows how to adjust. He's going to go back to his corner, and he's got bags of tricks. People don't know this, but he does have a pretty underrated grappling game that he can resort to if shit starts hitting the fan. If he starts losing traction, he starts getting behind on some of the punches, and he's getting hit first and landing last, he can resort to the grappling. So he just has too much in the bag that we know about, where we don't know what is Kattar going to do when Max Holloway drags him into that deep water. What is he going to do? Is he going to sink or is he going to swim? He swam against Dan Ige, but Dan Ige is not Max Holloway.
No.
He's not Max Holloway.
So what's Kattar's path to victory?
Kattar's path to victory, to me, I think he's got to knock him out. I do not think that this guy is going to be able to download as much as Max does. I think he's going to come in with his style. He's going to rely on that style. He's going to rely on his power. And I think as the fight goes on, he's going to find himself what I like to call being lost in translation. I think Max is going to start losing him in translation with his angles, with his quirkiness, with his volume. And I think Kattar's just going to start throwing, starting to get a little reckless. And I think you're going to see Max pulling away. So would I be shocked if this goes to the distance? No, I think Kattar's tough enough to go yard. I think Kattar is tough enough to possibly even hurt Max and put him on skates. But I just do not see a path for Kattar to win by decision unless Max is washed up, which I highly doubt. So my official pick on this fight is going to be Max Holloway, and at -150. If you're giving me Max at -150 with everything that I just downloaded and everything that I just registered to you guys, that is a good play, and I'm taking that all day.
I'm with you, Lab. I like Holloway too. I'm going to throw 2 units on that too. I think that's a great line for Max. So official pick, Max Holloway. DraftKings.
From a DraftKings perspective, you got it's kind of the same thing. I mean, you got Max Holloway at 8,900, right? Mind you, with the new scoring, but when you look at
that new scoring is not that much of a difference.
It's not. There is a slight edge with certain
with
things.
wrestlers.
Yeah, there is going to be some changes. There's going to be some matchup stylistically that you're really going to have to look into. But this fight speaks for itself. This fight, the minute I saw it, was kind of written in stone. So you got Max Holloway under 9,000. Anytime you get a guy like Max Holloway with that volume, under 9K. With that with those numbers, you got it. I mean, there's just not a possible chance in hell that you don't take a shot. Anytime Max Holloway fights, you want him in some of your lineups because he's that much of a volume whore. Yep. And I like to use that term. Calvin Kattar, 7,300. This is a way for DraftKings. In my eyes, it's very appealing. You see that, you look at a punt play, which is 6,900. That's kind of where we run around punt plays. I mean, 7,300, $400 more. It's kind of, to me, it looks like almost like a betting trap, right?
It's appetizing.
It's very right. It's very like if you saw it at 7,600,
you can make a lot of good lineups with him in there.
You can make a lot of good lineups with Kattar, and I think his path to victory is knockout. So if he does knock him out,
he's going to hit for value.
If he goes to the distance and wins by decision, he's going to cover value. I just don't see. I mean, if I were to lay odds on Kattar going to, winning by decision, I would say it would be like plus 450. I mean, I would lay it somewhere astronomical. I'd be shocked if he can outwork and outpace Max. So if there's clear value there, if he hits, I just personally look at that more as a trap. I look at that as more of a,
but you got to play him.
But you got to play him. You got to have him in a couple lineups.
So if I was setting 10 lineups,
it's too much value.
If I was setting 10 lineups, how much Max, how much Calvin?
And you had to have that fight in all 10 lineups, correct?
Yeah, if I had to have that fight in all 10.
I personally, for me, I would go between 6 and 7 with Max.
Okay.
And I would say 3 and probably 3 with Kattar.
7, 3.
I can't.
You don't see it.
I just don't see it.
I don't either.
I don't see it.
I don't either. But you can't fade him.
You can't. No. Because listen, guys, you got to remember, in a fight like this, Max extracts volume from you. He makes you fight. There's certain fighters that. There's a couple guys on this card that will not be guys like Amiv. Okay, this is a guy who he slows things down. He gets on top of you and he'll just smother you, and he's going to take away points from himself and from his opposition. Right. Max makes you fight. You got to try to keep up with him, and when you try to keep up with him, you get lost in translation. But Kattar's a tough Bostonian. This is a guy who's going to come out there. He's going to throw. He's game. So even in a loss with Kattar, you never know. In a 5-round fight, he could hover in the 40s and 50s. I mean, you don't know.
You're making a great point. I was just going to ask you my next question. Can you play them both in cash games?
I was never high on that, but I could see an argument for that. Because listen, when a lot of guys do that, and they'll go and they'll play, two guys. You're going in with a loss.
Yeah, I know.
You're going in a loss right off the bat. To me, that just doesn't translate right with me. I mean, I get the angle, and listen, there's certain fights that you do that way. But the chances of forget about the tournaments, cash game. In a tournament, the chance of you hitting the nuts.
Oh, forget about that. That's not going to happen.
It's just,
I would think in cash games, when you have these situations where you lose 3 fights to COVID and there's only 8 fights on the card,
yeah,
then maybe.
Cash game, I could see the argument. And the argument's not Kattar. The argument is not Max Holloway. The argument is Kattar. Max Holloway, is going to give you the numbers.
Yeah.
He's going to give you the numbers. It's Kattar that you got to wonder how is he going to fight this fight? Like, is he going to even try to keep up? You know what I mean? So I see the argument, but personally for me, that's the only way I would do it. I mean, you want to plug a couple in the cash game play, you want to stack the fight. I don't see a problem with it. But I was never an advocate of that. I just feel like you're going in with a loss. Use your knowledge to try to get the wins.
I agree. I totally agree. So, in summary, get some Max Holloway in your lineups. Official pick, Max Holloway. Official bet, Max Holloway. This is MadLab's main event. We'll see you each and every week for every main event. We got now 2 more coming up in the next 7 days. So, looking forward to doing the Chiesa Magny breakdown. And then the return of the notorious... you don't even know who the fuck you're picking yet.
I don't. Listen, the whole next card I actually have in my head. Like, I started really to register and everything, and I know who I'm picking for the next main event. I don't know, dude.
I don't know either.
And I did know. I did know because I was telling you for 2 weeks.
You got me leaning that way, and then I start to watch I start watching TV.
No, that you can't do, bro.
I can't help it.
You can't do
I get all excited.
Guys, let me explain something to you.
I know.
You can't watch that shit. You can't watch fucking Embedded and all this other bullshit.
I will say this. After watching Poirier Hooker, I have a whole new level of respect for Dustin Poirier.
He's never been in a boring fight.
But that fight, like, I just was like, wow, dude. Because I was on Hooker.
You were on Hooker?
I was on Hooker.
Were you?
I went against you.
Did you?
Yeah.
You never told me that.
I did tell you. You just forgot.
What the fuck
I wanted Hooker. You know why I was on Hooker? Because I had him in a lineup that would have been the nuts. So I was rooting for Hooker. And then just that 5th round, Poirier just showed how he's battle tested. I was like, wow. So now I'm like, he's just not the same Dustin Poirier.
The thing with Poirier is this. The thing with Poirier is he super fast? No, but once he gets his legs and his wheels under him, it's almost like he has magnets in his gloves.
Dude.
Anything he throws just hits the mark.
The accuracy.
But he can be hit.
Yeah, he can.
That's. I mean, that's.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be great.
What a
you know what we're
fucking
gonna
fight.
do? Actually, this is what we're gonna do. For that fight, I'm gonna come in here, and I haven't had a fucking slice of fucking pizza in a month. All right, because number one, I'm dieting down. No. I am gonna get a fucking slice, and I'm gonna eat it on this fucking show. I'm gonna let him research the best pizza spot around here, and I'm gonna get one slice. And I'm going to eat it on this fucking show, and I'm going to tell you if this pizza even compares to home. And a bagel. That's my cheat day. I'm doing it. This is my excuse to eat.
A pizza and a bagel. How about just eat a pizza bagel? We'll call it a wrap. All right. See you next week. Thank you. Better?